In Ibadan, Madam Alex Morgan was known for being able to solve problems. She could solve any problem as long as you had enough money to pay her. In the afternoon, Ethan, a handsome man, came to her for help. He needed a bride right away. He asked Madam Alex to help him find a wife. For a year, he wanted a contract wife who would give birth to his child and stay married to him without any closeness or strings attached. He told Madam Alex that he was looking for a virgin. For a very large sum of money, Madam Alex agreed to get Ethan exactly what he needed. They made a deal and shook hands to go ahead with it. A woman named Mia Carter lived in a different part of town. Being an only child, she quit school to take care of her very sick brother. Their lives had been very hard since their parents died, but Mia did everything she could to make sure her brother got the care he needed. The doctor told her last week that her brother's health had gotten worse and that he needed surgery right away to stay alive. Since then, Mia had been very sad. Because they couldn't get the money for his surgery, Faye, her brother, was already okay with the idea that he might not make it. On the other hand, Mia wouldn't give up. Even people who didn't like her asked for help, but no one would. She met Madam Alex on her way to get help. As soon as Ethan paid Madam Alex to find him a wife, she looked everywhere for a woman who was perfect for the job. I have a lot of experience solving problems, but this one was hard because it needed a virgin. Madam Alex looked all over her network for the right candidate, but none of the leads she found were good enough. Ethan wanted things to happen quickly, which made the pressure rise. After work that night, Mia was so broke that she begged Madam Alex to give her some money for her brother's surgery. With the money Madam Alex had, she knew she could help her, so she offered to work as a maid for her. Mia was ready to do anything because her brother's health was getting worse. When Mia got to Madam Alex's house, she begged and told her about her brother's terrible position. At first, Madam Alex didn't seem to care. She told her guards to kick Mia out, telling them in a cold voice that she wasn't running a charity. Mia kept pleading with the guards that she would do anything to save her brother as they grabbed her. You could feel how desperate she was. Then Madam Alex asked her if she was still a virgin. Even though the question confused Mia, she said yes, she was. This new information interested Madam Alex. She saw a chance to help Ethan and make a lot of money at the same time. If Mia decided to get a job, Madam Alex would give her 5 times the money she needed for her brother's surgery. She told him that her job was to legally marry Ethan, have a child with him, and stay married to him for a year without getting close or having any strings attached. Mia agreed to the deal without giving it much thought because she was so excited about saving her brother. After she signed the paperwork, Madam Alex gave her half of the agreed upon amount right away. As soon as Mia had the cash, she ran to the hospital to pay for her brother's surgery. Her brother Faye was shocked and asked where she got the money. Mia didn't want to tell him everything right now, so she told him she would when he was better. When the surgery date came around, Mia felt hopeful for the first time in weeks. At a diner the next day, Mia met Ethan, who would become her husband-to-be. She felt scared when she learned that Ethan was the son to a very wealthy family in the state. When Ethan got there, they said hello and he went over the terms of their deal again, making it clear that this was only a business deal. He also said, in a rude way, that she shouldn't expect any more money than what was agreed upon. Mia was hurt, but she kept her mind on her goal. To save her brother, Ethan told her he was sorry for being so direct and offered to take her home. The next morning, Mia moved into Ethan's house with just one small suitcase full of her things. She had never seen anything like the huge, fancy house before. As she walked through the grand halls, she felt both amazed and scared. She was shown around the house by Ethan, who told her about the different rooms and features. Even though it was beautiful, Mia told herself that her job was to get the money her brother needed for surgery. After they got comfortable, Ethan went over the plan in more detail. His need was for Mia to be his loyal girlfriend and, later, his pregnant fiancée. He laid out the steps. First, she would meet his family and be introduced as his lover. Then they would tell everyone that she was pregnant. They would finally get married. Ethan stressed how important it was to persuade his exceptionally skeptical and sharp grandma, Mrs. Oko. The first problem came up almost right away. Mrs. Oko, Ethan's grandma, showed up out of the blue. She was a strong woman with a sharp eye for details and a natural ability to tell when someone is lying. When she showed up, Mia and Ethan were scared. They spruced up the house quickly to make it look like Mia had lived there for a while. Ethan helped Mia write their cover story and made sure that the stories they told were similar. When Mrs. Oko got there, she was suspicious right away. She asked Mia a lot of questions about herself and how she met Ethan. Even though Mia and Ethan practiced, they forgot a few things. Ethan said they met at a bar, while Mia said they did so at a diner. Mrs. Oko asked Mia to get a bottle of wine from the kitchen because she saw the mistake. They knew Mia had no idea where anything was, so it was a test to see if they were telling the truth. Mia went to the kitchen because she was determined to pass the test, but she quickly realized she was lost in the huge house. After looking for a long time, she decided to act like she was hurt to get pity, and by some time, a loud scream came from her, and she fell to the ground. Ethan and Mrs. Oko ran to her aid. As the worried boyfriend, Ethan picked her up and carried her to a room where they saw that she had, in fact, cut herself. Mia's safety was important to Mrs. Oko, so she chose to put the matter on hold for now. Even though it was close, the event brought Ethan and Mia closer together. Ethan took care of her wound in a way that surprised Mia with how gentle he was. During this moment of weakness, they became more open with each other and a real bond started to form. After that, Mrs. Oko told Mia she was inviting her to her birthday party in 2 days. Mia freaked out because she wasn't ready and didn't have the right dress. When Ethan saw how upset she was, he gave her his credit card and told her to go shopping for the best outfit she could find. Mia went to see her brother in the hospital the next day. Faye's surgery went well, and he was getting better quickly. Mia was so happy that she spent some time with him and told him she would tell him everything when he was better. She went shopping for a dress after she got out of the hospital. When she went to a fancy clothing shop, she ran into Daka, a bully from college. Daka made fun of Mia and said she had to steal money to buy things at that pricey shop. Mia didn't care about the jokes. She used Ethan's card to buy a beautiful dress, which surprised Daka and made her feel better. Mia got ready for Mrs. Oko's birthday party in her new dress, determined to make a good impression and keep their trick going. Mia was both excited and worried about Mrs. Oko's birthday party the day it came around. She felt a mix of confidence and fear as she wore the beautiful dress she had bought. Ethan couldn't help but stare as she came down the grand stairs of his mansion. She was beautiful, and he forgot all about his problems for a moment as he enjoyed her beauty. Ethan caught Mia quickly before she fell in her high heels. Before going to the party, they shared a quick, sincere smile. Officials and members of powerful families dressed in their best clothes to attend the fancy party. Mia and Ethan looked great together, and people whispered about them as they walked through the crowd. Mia couldn't help but notice that a girl named Adela and her mother were looking at her badly. Adela had her thoughts set on Ethan for a long time because she was so pretty and charming. Seeing him with Mia made her angry and determined at the same time. The party girl, Mrs. Oko, was sitting in the middle of the room with lots of happy people around her. She was so happy when she saw Ethan and Mia coming up behind her. She gave them a friendly welcome and told them how happy she was to see Ethan with Mia. Both Ethan and Mia were nervous about the evening, but Mrs. Oko's words made them feel better and gave them hope. It wasn't easy to stop Adela and her mother, though. With the goal of ruining Mia's plans, Adela spilled a drink on her by chance, staining her beautiful dress. "Hey! Mia, who was very angry, left to clean up the spot in the ladies' room, and Adela quickly followed her. To get information to use against Mia, Adela asked her a lot of questions about her past while they were in the bathroom. She made fun of Mia's humble beginnings, but Mia stood her ground and stuck up for her values and honesty. Mia was about to fight with him when she heard Ethan's voice calling her. He had been looking for her and his eyes had a strange look in them. He told her not to worry because he had a present for her. Mia followed him back to the party, where they were greeted by a crowd of people who were waiting for them. Ethan asked Mia to marry him right then and there by getting down on one knee and pulling out a ring. This caught everyone off guard. There were cheers all around, and Mia, who was shocked, said yes. And Mrs. Oko cheered loudly. She was proud of her grandson and excited for him to start a family. Mia was shocked by the idea because it wasn't part of the original plan. Later, she asked Ethan why he proposed that night instead of the time they had agreed upon. Ethan said that they had to keep up the act so that his grandma wouldn't get even more suspicious. He also gave hints that his feelings for Mia were growing, but he didn't say them outright. At the same time, Padilla, who was heartbroken by the request, decided she could not let this go. There, she had hoped to catch Ethan's attention, so when she saw him propose to someone else, it hurt her. To find out the truth and get Ethan for herself, Adela hired a private investigator to look into Mia's past. The detective worked non-stop, watching Mia at all times, and in the end found out the truth about the contract marriage. With this information in hand, Adela marched to Mrs. Oko's house and told her about the fake marriage. The news shocked and hurt Mrs. Oko. When Adela showed Mrs. Oko the signed contract, her whole world fell apart. She passed out right away because the news was too much for her. Adela screamed for help, and Mrs. Oko's doctor, who had been treating her for cancer that would soon kill her, came to help. The doctor told Mrs. Oko that she should tell her family about her illness, but she didn't. For 5 years, she let them know. The news of the contract marriage and her illness made her feel very bad. She told Adela to go away and thought about what to do for hours. She made Ethan get married and have a child quickly because she wanted to make sure her family was safe before she died. The fake proposal that Ethan and Mia made and the warm kiss that they shared seemed to have brought them closer together. It seemed like they were enjoying each other's company more, laughing at jokes and having more real moments. One afternoon, Mrs. Oko showed up out of the blue while they were eating and talking. They quickly pretended to be in love, but Mrs. Oko's presence made it harder for them to keep up the act. When she said she was going to stay the night, Mia and Ethan quickly got the spare room ready. But Mrs. Oko asked them why they were sleeping in different rooms. Mia quickly made up a story about how she slept in Ethan's room but kept her things in the other room. Mrs. Oko claimed to understand and went to bed for the night. At first, Mia and Ethan didn't like having to share a room, but they had to keep up their act. That night, you could feel the strain. They tried to be normal by making small talk and staying away from each other. Still, as the night went on, it got harder to ignore how much they liked each other. They had obvious chemistry, and the act of being together started to blend with the real thing. When they woke up the next morning, Mrs. Oko smiled at them as if she knew they were getting closer. She really wanted their relationship to grow into something real. Ethan and Mia felt more attracted to each other, and their hearts were racing with wants they didn't say out loud. They were both afraid to tell each other how they felt because they thought it might make their plan more difficult. It became harder to tell the difference between their fake relationship and their real feelings, which set the stage for a journey that would change both of them. I could tell Ethan was nervous the next day as he sat across from his grandmother, Mrs. Oko, in her fancy office. He cleared his throat and then spoke, "Grandma, I know it's only been a few days since I asked Mia to marry me, but I was wondering if I could be made CEO again now." With a soft smile and a twinkle in her eyes, Mrs. Oko looked at her grandson. Before, she liked Ethan's drive and ambition, but now she was afraid that being too driven without a family was a bad thing. Ethan, you know what we agreed to do. Tell him gently that you would only be let back in after getting married and having a child. Ethan sighed because he knew he had agreed to the terms. But, Grandma, things are already moving. His tone was tense. Mia said yes to my proposal in front of you. Mrs. Oko laughed when she saw how determined Ethan looked. Ethan, I like how excited you are, but let's stick to our deal for now. She told him, get married first, and then we can talk about putting you back in charge as CEO. He reluctantly agreed, and Ethan told his grandmother that the wedding would happen soon. At the same time, Mrs. Oko had her own ideas. Because Adela told her the truth and showed her the signed contract, she knew that Ethan's proposal to Mia was a trick. She knew Ethan was trying very hard to get back to work as CEO as soon as possible. But she couldn't deny that Ethan and Mia were attracted to each other. Because Mia was a great match for Ethan, Mrs. Oko liked her a lot. She was set on making them really fall in love. Ethan and Mia decided to have their fake wedding, but they had no idea that soon their lives would take a turn they did not expect. When they told Mrs. Oko the news, the old woman was so happy that she took care of planning the wedding right away. She didn't skimp on anything to make sure the event was truly amazing. For the couple's special day, she gave them the best of everything. When the big day came, the wedding was so grand that people all over the country watched. Ethan and Mia said their vows and swapped rings, making them Mr. and Mrs. Oko. The couple was so happy they couldn't hold back their excitement. They kept calling each other Mr. and Mrs. Oko, which was their new name. After the wedding, Ethan and Mia were so happy that they forgot about the terms of their marriage contract. As soon as they got married, they gave passionate kisses and enjoyed the happiness of being married. The happy event turned sad, though, when Mrs. Oko suddenly passed out at the wedding dinner. When Mrs. Oko was rushed to the hospital, Ethan and Mia were heartbroken to hear the terrible news that she had been fighting lung cancer for 5 years. With his mind blank, Ethan couldn't make sense of the quick change of events. Mia stood by his side and helped him through this hard time by being there for him. Even though they didn't know what would happen with Mrs. Oko, the pair had to face the truth of the situation. As Ethan and Mia listened to the doctor give them the bad news, they could feel the crisis weight pressing down on them. The doctor told Mrs. Oko how bad her condition was and talked about her treatment choices and possible outcomes. Ethan had a hard time accepting the harsh truth that his grandma was sick. He felt hopeless and depressed. His grandma had been his only real family member since his parents died in a terrible car accident. When he told Mia about his worries, she did her best to make him feel better by telling him that they would face this problem together as a team. The couple found comfort in being with each other while they anxiously awaited news about Mrs. Oko's situation. They leaned on each other for support and strength, getting closer when things got hard. When he heard his grandmother talk, he felt a lump in his throat. He had done what he thought was necessary to get the job as CEO, but now he saw what he had done was wrong. Mrs. Oko reached out to grab Ethan's hand, and even though she had been sick recently, her grip was surprisingly strong. I realized that all the money and success in the world didn't matter without the love and support of my family when I was told I had cancer. That's why I told you had to get married and have a child before I would let you go back as CEO, she said. When Ethan's grandma spoke, his eyes got really big in shock. But I thought you didn't know, Grandma. He choked up as he said, I thought I was doing what was best for the family. Mrs. Oko gave him a soft smile. Ethan, you were thinking about the business, but I was thinking about you, us, and your future. The real wealth in life is the experiences we make with the people we care about. I want you to understand that, my dear boy. Seeing his grandma made Ethan feel very sad, and his eyes filled with tears. She had been right the whole time, and he was amazed at how much she loved him. She put her own future ahead of the future of the company because she cared about him. That's when Ethan realized that family really was the most important thing in life. Mia agreed, and her eyes were shining with tears. "We get it, Grandma, and from now on we'll make sure our family comes first," she said with a strong voice. Mrs. Oko smiled, loving and proud of her grandchildren. Mrs. Oko asked Ethan and Mia what they wanted to tell her. They let slip that Mia was 2 weeks along in her pregnancy. From a business deal to a real relationship, Ethan and Mia's story showed how important love, family, and honesty are. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this touching love story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you liked this show. What do you think? Let us know in the comments and stay tuned for more interesting